it's time to get serious, okay? All these Morbius videos I've been making, ha ha he he. I'm gonna have Rotten Tomatoes shut down for giving it such a low score, and oh, it's a transcendent experience, Morbius, and you see it this weekend. All right, we're done, okay? Enough jokes. You get it, okay? It's been a joke, ha ha, funny. Now I'm serious. I just got back from seeing Morbius. This is serious time, okay? No more screwing around, okay? It was fucking great. It was so good. Oh my god, it was so. I'm not kidding. Okay, guys, I'm not kidding when I say this. It was so great. It was so fucking terrible. I can't believe how bad this movie was. It was so bad. I can't imagine a more perfect movie for me to christen my brand new iPhone that I just bought. If you can't tell the quality of this, this is my phone. And the quality of this video looks better. You can see all the imperfections on my stupid face now. Great. I can't imagine a better movie to christen this camera with. Oh my god. I can't even start by how much I loved how terrible this movie was. This is exactly what I was hoping it would be after watching the trailers and thinking, the trailers look okay, but I can kind of see through it. I see through it. Let me rephrase that. My brain just collapsed within itself. I see through the decent qualities of these trailers, and I could see the early 2000s Daredevil, Fantastic Four, Ghost Rider, name a crappy comic book movie from the early 2000s quality hiding within this trailer. I see it. I'm like that. I'm like Neo. I see it. The code. You can't hide from me. And I saw the quality. I knew it was going to be like that, especially since Sony's making it with Venom 1 at the time being released. Venom 2, of course, came out after. I knew it was going to be like that. I knew it. I just knew it. I knew it was going to be like that. And good lordy poo. Oh, Jesus, criminy and all hell. It's exactly what I thought it would be. I had to write some notes down. I can't lie to you. This movie was god awful. It was so bad. But I would love to tell you I had a wonderful time watching it. I really didn't. I was mostly bored. But now thinking about it, I'm so glad superhero movies like this still exist. Like I have a fondness for those early 2000s movies. The Daredevil movie that came out, the Fantastic Four movies, the Ghost Rider movies, especially the first one. I have a fondness for them. Even shit like Elektra, I have some fondness. Catwoman. These movies are terrible, or lukewarm. I think Ghost Rider is not as bad as some people say, mainly because Nick Cage is so good. But and also at the time the effects and Ghost Rider stuff was pretty cool, and Daredevil, the unrated cut was pretty good. I just have a fondness for him. So when I'm seeing this movie, it's not MCU stuff, which is like everything's connected and stuff. Which, don't get me wrong, they do the connected stuff, which I'm sure everybody already knows, all the post-credit stuff because it leaked days earlier. But whatever, it is connected in some way, but it doesn't really focus on that. And the entire movie is just an origin, and it's so shitty. Oh my god, you know what? All right, let's get to the positives first. Legit positives of Morbius, okay? I'm not gonna start with that one. That would be really funny. The special effects, this one has an asterisk, because I would say the special effects for the most part aren't too bad, considering it's a $75 million budget, which I'm surprised it was actually that high, honestly. Giving Morbius that high of a budget is crazy to me. I thought maybe like 50 million, but 75? Okay. Shit, even Deadpool 1 didn't get that big of a budget. So they're not bad. Like, there's times where there's some cool stuff. I like the whole echolocation thing, his eyes kind of shifting around and stuff and getting more vampire-ish. His transformation with the face thing was better than Venom. Sorry, I said it wrong. Knock, let devil in. Let the vampire in. That's Morbius. How come no Morbius rap? What the fuck? So it's a little bit better than that. I'll give him that. I put an asterisk because there are times where it just gets to look. It looks like it doesn't look like shit. It just looks just odd, like almost out of place at times. Like it just characters will be like, "Hey, look, I'm a vampire guy." I go bah, and like literally they go at the screen like 45 times in this movie, and their face goes ooh. But the special effects are okay. I thought Jared Leto was okay in the movie, but I thought Matt Smith was actually really good. I actually liked him, and I wish he was in the movie more. BS. But more BS, more bullshit. I get it. Everybody kept making that joke. Now I get it. no, it's an obvious joke. But I wish he was in more. It was more about him. Even I like the trailers don't show you him that much. The only time they ever show you him in the trailer, and I guess they were trying to keep it secret for some reason. I don't know why. Because they tell you exactly who he is, and you know exactly where it's going to go in the first 5 minutes of the movie. But they don't show him in the trailer besides that one part where he's like walking towards the camera, but he is a main part of the movie. Like he almost gets as much screen time as Jared Leto does in this movie. So he's a big part of the movie. And I thought he was good. I like Matt Smith. I like that he was playing a role that we've seen him play a lot of times before, but he got to be a little bit fun. And I'm not kidding. I was actually going to start my positives with this. The end credit scene. I'm not talking about the post-credit scene or the actual scene. I'm talking about literally the end credits. They have like this nice little effect, this like kind of purple bluish, like I don't know how to explain it. The end credits sequence is pretty fun to look at when it's showing all the names. I was like, ooh, I like this. I'm vibing. I'm not kidding. I actually liked it enough to put it on the positives. Let's do the negatives. Oh man. All right. So, oh, god damn it. All right. I have 8 of them. I'm sure I probably have more. BS. The editing. Good God, criminy was it bad. The editing was terrible. There'd be times where it's just like characters would just be like, all right, we have to do that thing. And it just cuts and they're doing it. I'm like, all right, I hate that kind of editing. There's times where characters don't even say anything and they're already doing something in the next scene. You know what I mean? Like there's 2 characters in this. I don't even know why they were in there. We got Tyrese Gibson and then some other guy. They're FBI agents, and they do like investigation stuff. They're trying to figure out where Morbius is going and stuff, and blah blah blah. And you think their story's going to intersect with Michael Morbius, and Matt Smith's character? No. I was expecting them to show up at the end. They do, but they show up to see pretty much nothing. They don't do anything. And there's times where we have scenes with these characters, and they're like, oh, we're investigating. All right, well, we found a lead. I'm like, where you get a lead? What the? It was so jumbled. All the scenes. This movie felt like it was probably a little over 2 hours long, and they cut out 20-something minutes out of it just to make it a little bit shorter. And all that stuff was like the Tyrese stuff and all the other side characters. Because all the other side characters, that's my other negative. All the other characters they might as well not even be in the movie. Jared Harris, love that guy. And there's even scenes in the trailer that are not in this movie. He is completely wasted. He does nothing in this movie. He stands around with a lab coat on sometimes, and then he disappears for a big part of the movie, and then he shows up later, and you're supposed to feel something for that character later on, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. Michael Morbius's maybe girlfriend. They didn't really establish the relationship in the beginning of the movie, so I forgot the actress's name. I'm sorry. She's good, but yeah, I guess she's maybe not girlfriend, just like friend, and later on girlfriend. I don't know. Really, you get no personality from. You don't really understand anything when it comes to character relationships in this movie. The only one you understand is Morbius and Matt Smith's characters. That's about it. Everybody else is just like you understand, but it's so vague. Like, oh, love interest, oh, father figure, I guess, but you don't really get us. You don't get a feeling of that. You just are told that. You know what I mean? Like, you're like a father to me. You know, like stuff like that. And I love you and stuff. It's just like I don't feel it. You're telling me it. I don't feel it though. I guess that could be a negative for the acting. So the characters are all really, really either bland or completely just unneeded, unnecessary. The editing is atrocious. The scenes are all jumbled. The action. Good lord, I couldn't tell what the hell was happening. Unless it was doing slow motion, which usually I'm not a fan of slow motion, but I was fucking wishing this would have way more because I'm not kidding. Whenever there's action between vampires, Morbius and whoever, I guess I won't spoil it because they keep not showing who the other villain is. And it's fucking obvious. Look at the cast. Who plays a villain most of the time? Just, I wonder who the villain is. Wow, who would have thought that the villain is the guy that played a villain in the last like fucking 25 movies he's been in. Wow. Who would have thought? I don't know why they were hiding that. I don't know. Of all things, they were hiding that, but they were also showing Michael Keaton and all the Spider-Man shit, which by the way is not really in the movie. It was a fucking lie, but everybody knows about that. That's another negative because that's just bullshit. but you can't tell what's going on. It's so close. There's one scene where Morbius is fighting somebody and they're going through a building, I think, and the close-up is just like, I couldn't tell what was going on. It's like if I picked this up and just like did this shit. I'm sure that looked great. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Look at that. Like, I didn't know what was going on. There's one part where Morbius is killing everybody on that ship, which is probably the best part of the movie because it's the most vampire-like thing in the entire film. And there's like shots of like, we're following this one guy and he's like, oh, I'm so scared of Jared Leto. And he's like, and then he gets grabbed and it goes into like a POV shot of him getting murdered, but it's so blurry and shitty. Like, it's supposed to be like body cam footage because they're all mercenaries, so maybe they would have that. I don't know. And also, good lord, for a vampire movie, they really didn't want to show you blood. They really didn't. Like, I know it's PG-13, but fucking hell, they cut around it and they do the stupidest shit. It's just like the Uncharted movie recently had this, and funny enough, the Assassin's Creed movie had it, so I guess video game movies are just not going to show blood. But, like, there's moments where he cuts people's throats, and the character's like, and he's acting like there's blood coming out, he's like, but you don't see anything. There's, like, little droplets of blood here and there, but it's so fucking tame. If you're going to do this, just make it fucking rated R, you pussies. Like, give it a less of a budget. Make the special effects shittier. I don't give a fuck. Cast somebody else that, it doesn't cost as much then. Make it rated R. What the fuck are you doing? You don't need to make them special effects all the time, too. You could do... Yeah, I'm sure you can make this character, Morbius, look cool with fucking practical makeup. So if you have to do that in order to make it rated R, make the budget smaller, dude, you would get hyped just to make it rated R. If you said rated R Morbius movie, people would be like, oh shit, here we go. More people probably see it than they are now, and the movie would probably still suck, but at least you have blood. That's good, right? It would have been CG blood anyway. Fuck, what am I talking about? It would have been shit. So the action sucks. There's no blood. The characters are terrible. Besides maybe the main two leads, but even them, they're not great. They're just better than everything else. The editing is atrocious. The humor, good fucking gracious. They try to do that MCU shit where they, they do the jokey back and forth. The Venom movies, I gotta give the Venom movies credit. Like, they're not good, but they are so much better at this humor stuff. Like, the stuff between Eddie and Venom is just so much better than the shit we get here. Like, Michael Morbius would be like, hey guys, oh yeah, I want to need this lab. Oh, you guys are watching this movie? Oh yeah, is this the part where the guy in the hoodie comes and beats everybody? He's in a hoodie. He's talking about himself. Get it? If you see the movie, you'll know that joke. Wasn't that classic? You're gonna tell your grandkids about that fucking joke. It's so bad. I don't think I laughed or even chuckled once. Well, that's not true. I did laugh multiple times, but not at jokes. Let me just tell you that. The humor is terrible. The marketing lies, I already have that written down. I already talked about it. That just pissed me off that they would lie like that. They just were like, oh, we got all this Spider-Man shit. Oh, you might see Spider-Man. Oh, look. Oh, Toomes is there. Adrian Toomes. Fucking Vulture's there. Oh, what does he have to do with the plot? Fucking nothing, except for the post-credit scenes, which... fucking God. We'll talk about them in a second. But that was all bullshit. That was just so people can go, oh, this is connected. Especially after Spider... There's no wonder why they waited for this movie to come out after Spider-Man. I was wondering, because this movie probably could have came out last year and still did okay. You know what I mean? Because Venom 2 came out and it did very well. So this movie could have probably came out a couple months before Venom or something like that. But no, they added... It's so obvious. When this movie was supposed to come out, it was supposed to come out July of 2020, way before Spider-Man was even filmed yet. There was probably a script, but it's obvious they added this post-credit scene sometime later. Even there's a post-credit... I don't want to spoil it, but there's things in the post-credit scene that just make sense. Maybe I'll talk about it in spoilers later. But yeah, the post-credit scenes are terrible, both of them. There's two, and it's barely post-credit scenes. They're still doing the end credit like visuals and stuff, and two scenes play out. They don't even wait until the actual end of the credits, like a post-credit, like an actual post-credit. You wait 5 minutes, watch the wall of text of all the people that sacrifice their hours to do the shitty special effects, and then you get the scene at the end. And they don't even do that. They do the pre credits scene, I guess, where you get all the important stuff like the directors and the writers and the producers and the fucking people that once thought of the idea of doing a Morbius movie. They get credit. Fucking Jared Leto, of course, all these actors, not the people that made the movie look like halfway decent, you know. They don't get the fucking credit until after everybody's already out of the fucking theater. But that's just movies nowadays anyway. I don't know why I'm really shitting on this one for it. But at least those other movies sometimes are actually good. You know? Yeah, that post-credit scene, both of them, but the second one in particular is fuck embarrassing what they're trying to do. It's embarrassing. Like at least Venom 2, it was like kind of fun, like, oh, okay, we'll see what happens. And then what happened in Spider-Man's like, oh, all right, well, all right. They didn't really go very far, but I can see what they're trying to do. And I think it was a clever way to introduce certain things to other universes. This is just like, they're doing some Amazing Spider-Man 2 shit, and I assure you, it'll probably work. We'll see how Morbius does, but it's not going to be good. It'll work when it comes to making money. It's just not going to work any other way. It's like, the quality of these movies, the highest reviewed Sony Cinematic Universe Marvel shit, whatever they call it, the spunk or whatever, I forgot what the fucking acronym is. I think the highest reviewed movie is Venom 2 right now, right? And it has like, what, a 58%? Lowest reviewing is this, unsurprisingly. It's just, I mean, there's only 3 movies to be fair right now. But I guess, no, if you count the Spider-Man movies, those are high. But I guess you have to count them, right? They're part of it too. Yeah, okay, they got that. I wonder why those movies were good and these aren't. I wonder what factor. Anyway. I know I'm sounding depressed now, but I'm just so glad movies like this exist. I left the theater like I didn't enjoy my time, but I was just happy shit like this exists. I don't know. Does that even make sense? I don't know if it does, but I had a good time. I really did. Well, no, I didn't have a good time. I have a good time now thinking about it. And there's parts where I had a good time, for sure. There's some cheesy ass fights that are terrible. You can't tell what's going on. But there's something within me. I'm just like, I know where this is going, and I can't tell what's happening, and it's so terrible, but I'm still having a good time. Does that make sense? Does any of this make sense? I don't know if it does. But it's a terrible movie. It's so bad. It really is. It's almost, I would dare say it's a nothing movie. Like, this would be one of those MCU movies where you not only do you not need to watch it, I mean, you shouldn't, but I have a feeling it's not going to matter in the long run at all. I don't think it will. This is unnecessary. Period. Just anything. Movie. Anything. Just you think about anything. It's unnecessary. But I'm glad it exists, because it really makes me think of my childhood where these movies were terrible, but I still enjoyed them. So that's why I was kind of like, I don't know. I'm a little bit less hyped now. I was really hyped at the beginning of this video because I was like thinking about it, but now after some time, yeah. Tomorrow when I wake up, I'm sure I'll be like, what the fuck was I thinking? That movie was just abysmally bad. But it's just the dialogue was so terrible too. I didn't even write that down because it was like bland, terrible. The humor was bad. So I guess I kind of talked about the dialogue. But it's just like all, like they try to have like this relationship between Matt Smith and Jared Leto's characters, which is the best part of the characters for sure. But I can't even tell you anything about it because I'm assuming the movie doesn't want to spoil that. So, because they don't have it in any of the trailers. So I can't even talk about it until I talk about spoilers. So, you know what? Let's get into spoilers, okay? Spoilers from here on out. Oh my god. All right. So, Morbius and Matt Smith's character, his name is Milo. That's a great name. Reminded me of the Connect game that never came out. I'll take a sip real quick. Milo, they're brothers. They both have a rare disease, the same rare disease where they're all messed up and they can't walk. Well, they can, but they can't walk a lot. I think they're brittle or whatever. They're just weak. Okay. So they're not brothers, but they're like they grew up together, so they're brothers. They grew up in the same like hospital thing, which Jared Harris runs. So they grew up and they're pretty much brothers. You get a really bad scene in the beginning with some really terrible child actors. No offense to the child actors. They're probably grown-ups by now because this movie was supposed to come out like 15 years ago. But no, it was probably about 2 years ago. It feels like 15 years. But they were really terrible actors, which reminded me a lot of the Venom 2 scene where we had the flashback of Woody Harrelson and what was her name? Noemi Harris, is that her name? Nomi, is it Nomi Harris? Anyway, I can't remember her name now. I love that actress too. Jesus, from Moonlight, and the Bond movies, and Pirates of the Caribbean. Calypso. Sorry, not Callisto. Calypso. Excuse me. I'm getting all the names wrong, but yeah. Damn, it just started getting really windy out there. That was weird. What was I saying? I just got distracted by the fucking wind. Can you hear that? Tornado. Oh, maybe it's Morbius. Because he rides on like wind and shit. I don't know. It made sense when I said it in my brain. But yeah, so there's a scene like that. So they're like brothers, kind of. You know, there's a little fun little scene between them before Morbius becomes the vampire guy. And it's not funny, but it's like, all right, they're trying, I guess. This is like the best thing of when it comes to the characters, is the best thing about the movie. And then surprise, Matt Smith becomes the villain. Who would have fucking thought Matt Smith would have been the villain? Who would have thought? So yeah, he's the villain, and later on he gets the same thing that Morbius takes. He gets like some bat DNA, injects into his blood, and becomes Morbius, and he does the same thing to himself, and he becomes evil Morbius. It's like same shit as these older like MCU things where it's like the villain has to fight himself, kind of like just the evil version of himself. Even though Morbius in this movie still, I wish they made him more anti-hero. Like, he did some evil shit in the beginning with the mercenaries killing all of them, but he wasn't in control. I just wish they embraced it more, which I think they're trying to with that post-credit scene, but nothing about this movie, because at the end he's just like, I'm a good guy. I need to save everybody before he kills more people and stuff. So he has a big fight, even though he gets his ass beaten and a bunch of bats save him. That's how the movie ends, by the way. There's barely a fight. He shows up, his girlfriend dies. Spoiler, who gives a shit? She comes back because vampire. Because he bites her and she becomes a vampire. She drinks his blood and shit. And then he fights Matt Smith, and Matt Smith beats his ass. Morbius is like, I'm all weak. He's like, let me echolocate these nuts in your mouth or whatever. And then he didn't say that, but let me bring my bat friends, because they mentioned before, like, I have a brotherhood with these bats or some stupid shit, and then a bunch of bats show up, and then he does bat stuff, and then he gives them an injection of the cure, because he just, in between scenes, this is another part of the editing that's so bad, and the scenes being jumbled, and I think shit being cut out. There's one scene where he's doing lab stuff, like he just made a lab, and then the next scene is he made a cure. It's like, okay, which, by the way, there's another movie in the span of a few months where someone just makes a cure out of nowhere. Spider-Man No Way Home had that too. Right? No Way Home, yeah. Which is whatever. But it was just very jolly. It just came out of nowhere. It was like, I get he was making a lab, but it was just like, boom, oh, I have the antidote here. I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, whatever. It's just, in the movie, it feels more jarring than the way I'm explaining it. But anyway, so he fights him, blah, blah, blah. He wins, unsurprisingly. Now we get to the post-credit scene. Post-credit scene is absolutely horrible, acted terribly. It feels like a skit, like straight up, like something you'd see on not even SNL, like College Humor. Not even the College Humor is funnier than SNL. Yeah, I'll just say SNL, modern day SNL. It is terrible, the acting in this scene, in these two scenes. So the first scene is Adrian Toomes, Vulture, of course, from Spider-Man Far From Home. No, Homecoming. There you go. Who was a great villain in that movie. He shows up, he's in a jail cell, he gets teleported in because of the whole shit happening in Spider-Man No Way Home. I was like, okay, there you go. They added that in. And he's like, looking at his hands, he's like, hey, I hope there's better food here, because he's in prison still, which I don't know why he would immediately assume he's in a different prison. I guess he gets teleported in, but he just goes, and then he looks at himself, and I guess he looks a little bit different. I don't know. He's looking at himself like he's like, hey. I don't know if he looks any different, but it was a confusing scene. He's just like, oh, there's better food in this. And then he gets released from prison because he's not from this universe, I guess. There's no Adrian Toomes in this universe, I guess, even though it seems like every universe has like a version of somebody. I don't know how it works. Maybe not. I don't know. No, because Peter Parker, but they all look different. So I guess you can have multiple people named Adrian Toomes in real life. So Is it tombs or tomes? Whatever. So the whole thing sucks. That whole scene sucked. It was terrible. He gets released. And then not even 30 seconds later, the end credits aren't even done yet. And they cut to another scene where it's Michael Morbius in a car, which, by the way they filmed this shot looked like straight up like I thought Matthew McConaughey should have did start doing some fucking narration. It sounded like a car commercial. He rolls up somewhere and he's just like, all right, he's waiting. He's looking at his watch or whatever, his phone. Not his watch. He's looking at his watch or his phone. I don't remember. He's looking to see what time it is. I think it was a watch. I don't care. It's already leaving my brain. And then Vulture shows up in a different looking suit than it was in Homecoming, which I know a lot of people will be like, oh, hell yeah. Well, whatever. I don't give a fuck. There were people in the theater going, oh, shit, look at the suit. I was like, I don't fucking care. And then the acting is so bad here because you could tell it was obviously Michael Keaton not there. It was just a voiceover because it's somebody else in the suit, you know. He doesn't take off his helmet or anything. He's just in the suit. He's just like, hey, why don't we join up and do some cool stuff? And then Michael Morbius is like, interesting. And it ends. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? There's not much dialogue, but it's so badly acted and it feels like a skit. It feels like a joke, and it's so bad. So they're trying to do Sinister Six shit, which they already have Venom, they have Vulture, they have Morbius. Were they ever a part of the... I know Vulture was, but was the other two ever part of the Sinister Six? I guess Venom probably was, right? Was Morbius ever part? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care. I don't care. Stop doing this. Hey, at least they're doing it better than they did with Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, where they're literally just going to hand out the weapons to everybody. Oh, we got some octopus arms. We'll just give it to some guy. Oh, here's the Vulture arms. We'll probably just... or wings. We'll just give it to some guy. That's what they were going to do with Amazing Spider-Man 2. This one, at least the characters are already their characters, you know? At least they're building up to it. You know, they have Venom. They have Morbius. They already had Homecoming. At least they're building up to it. They're not pulling a DCEU or even a Amazing Spider-Man 2. But it's so terrible. And I'm super excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the fucking dog shit's going to look like. I can't wait. I'm excited. So, I didn't really give Morbius a score. I should have probably did that. I'll give it... I mean, it's terrible. It really... There's barely any redeeming factors to it. Like, it's such a nothing movie. There's not much to talk about, really. I talked about it for 30 minutes, though, so there you go. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. It was real shit, but I appreciate how shit it was. I really do. It's uniquely shit, even though it's bland and unimaginative. It feels like a early 2000s Marvel movie. But because it feels like that and it feels bland, it feels unique because most Marvel movies nowadays, even DCU movies, don't. They're either unique in some way, or they're trying something new, or they're not trying something new, but there's something to it that's a little bit more interesting than shit like this. You know, even Black Widow, which wasn't great, there's some good stuff in it. This is just fuck. That's it. It's just fuck. There you go. Anyway, this is Morbius. Go see it. It's a great movie. So I hope you enjoyed it. And Rotten Tomatoes, watch your ass. So that's it. That's all I heard. Almost 30-minute review. Anyway, that's it. That's it. I have nothing else to say. So, Morbius, yay!